Have you ever tried to build your own AI assistant? Like one that actually knows your specific documents and doesn't just make things up? If so, you've probably hit a massive wall. Usually getting a truly personalized AI means you have to install local models, manage super complex vector databases, and stress out over your computer's RAM. Honestly, it can be a total headache. Well, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're looking at a completely instant frictionless solution, Google NotebookLM. It's a zero-installation, cloud-based RAG system, which stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation, by the way, and it is literally the fastest way to get a customized AI up and running.
Here's our roadmap for today. We're going to cover zero setup Cloud RAG, building your AI workspace, setting up guardrails and querying, generating custom studio assets, and finally, we'll compare cloud versus local RAG.
All right, let's jump straight into Section 1, Zero Setup Cloud RAG.
So here is the macro view of our journey today. It's a highly structured 5-step progression to get you completely set up. We're going from creating your workspace to uploading sources, applying guardrails, querying, and finally leveraging those awesome studio assets. Because NotebookLM, which you might also see called Gemini Notebook out in the wild, handles all the heavy lifting in the cloud, this entire pipeline works seamlessly across literally all your devices. And the real beauty of this approach? It's right there in the name. Zero setup. You absolutely do not need to install local models, you don't have to be a database engineer, and you don't need to panic about whether your laptop has enough memory to run an advanced neural network just to get an AI that actually knows your sources. You can start this on your desktop, continue reading on your tablet, and finish up on your phone.
Moving right along to Section 2, Building Your AI Workspace.
Let's build that foundation. You simply go to notebooklm.google, sign in with your Google account, and click New Notebook. But hey, here's a pro tip straight from our source material. Give the workspace a highly specific, project-based name. Think something like Romans exegesis or systematic theology research. Trust me, you'll thank yourself later when you inevitably have 5 of these distinct research containers running all at once. And once you create that workspace, you're going to notice a massive benefit, and it revolves around the number 50. NotebookLM works as a source-grounded container, and it actually allows you to upload up to 50 distinct sources per notebook. That is incredibly generous. It's easily enough capacity to cover a full research project, a thesis chapter, or a deep dive study without forcing you to agonize over cutting down your precious source list.
Now, moving into Step 2, we've got to talk about this incredible paradigm shift, because this is where the magic really happens. Yes, of course, you can upload your standard documents like PDFs, Word files, and Google Docs. But NotebookLM accepts web and audio sources too. You can literally just drop in a public YouTube video URL or an MP3 of a recorded lecture, and the system automatically transcribes and processes them. Think about that for a second. I mean, most guardrail setups out there only handle static text. Being able to drop in a lecture recording and have it treated as a first-class citable source, that completely changes the game on what counts as your library.
Okay, let's head into Section 3, Setting Guardrails and Querying. So, uploading your sources gets your AI grounded in your data, sure, but we still need to apply the brakes. We need to explicitly forbid the model from wandering outside of your uploaded library to guarantee absolutely zero hallucinations. To do this, you just open your notebook's chat settings, navigate over to persona instructions, and paste it in a authoritative prompt. Tell it to rely strictly on the uploaded source context, do not invent citations, and if the answer cannot be found, to state clearly that the information is absent. And you know what's fascinating? This is actually a really short instruction. Why? Because NotebookLM's entire architecture is already built around source grounding. By applying this prompt, you're just strongly reinforcing the platform's default behavior rather than having to fight against a wild general-purpose chatbot.
As we hit Step 4, querying your data, notice how this setup completely eliminates the guesswork. You just type a natural language search right into the chat bar. Go ahead and ask it a really complex question about your documents. This brilliantly illustrates the true power of the platform. When the AI answers you, it provides a fully audited response with exact numbered footnotes. Seriously, you never have to guess where a claim came from again. You just click the citation and bam, it jumps directly to the exact passage in your uploaded source.
Up next is Section 4, Generating Custom Studio Assets.
We are finally at Step 5, and honestly, this is the real payoff moment of this explainer. You've uploaded your sources, you've queried them, but NotebookLM actually lets you go way further than just a chat window. Inside the Studio or Notebook Guide tab, there are these automated generator buttons that let you turn your raw source uploads into highly structured, shareable research tools with just a couple of clicks. We're talking automatically producing study guides, FAQs, and timelines straight from your research. You can even build visual mind maps that connect key themes across your files. But okay, perhaps the most mind-blowing feature of the whole shebang is the audio overview. NotebookLM will actually generate an AI-hosted deep dive conversation. It's essentially a custom audio discussion between two virtual hosts that summarizes the key insights from your sources. Imagine taking a massive, towering pile of PDFs for a big study and turning them into an audio track you can just listen to on your morning commute instead of having to reread all those dense footnotes. It's wild.
And that brings us to our final part, Section 5, Cloud versus Local RAG.
So, we've reached the crossroads. We've seen how insanely powerful and frictionless this shiny cloud tool is, right? But let's objectively compare it side by side with a fully local Mac stack to see which one actually fits your specific needs. First up, let's look at the massive difference in setup friction. If you want to build a local RAG stack, say using Allama and Anything LLM, you are looking at about 15 minutes of downloading, configuring, and installing various pieces of software. But with the NotebookLM Cloud Stack, it takes roughly 1 minute with absolutely zero installation. You literally just open your browser and go.
But hey, friction isn't everything, and neither option is strictly better. It all boils down to your personal priorities. A local stack on an Apple Silicon Mac guarantees 100% air-gapped privacy. I mean, your data literally never leaves your hard drive, and it works completely offline. However, it does require some decent hardware, like 16 gigabytes of RAM, and it primarily handles text. NotebookLM, on the flip side, runs on literally any web browser and handles incredible multimedia processing, like those YouTube links and audio files we talked about. But it absolutely requires an active internet connection, and your data is hosted online. So your choice simply depends on whether absolute air-gapped privacy outweighs the sheer convenience of browser access and multimedia support.
Which leaves us with this final, somewhat provocative thought. You've now seen the incredible speed, the multimedia capabilities, and the completely zero-friction reality of Cloud RAG with NotebookLM. It's an absolutely astonishing tool for your everyday research. But what if your particular project demands total secrecy? What if your research requires building a fully private offline system where not a single byte of data ever touches the internet? Well, now that you know exactly how the cloud works, are you ready to ditch it entirely and build a local LLM on Apple Silicon next? That is a question only your unique research needs can answer. Thanks so much for joining this explainer, and happy researching.